welcome to Granya's Home and Kitchen. So today you're going to be coming on a journey with me. I'm going to make cookies which I have never made before. They're called chocolate crinkle cookies. Now I looked on the internet and there's like 5 different ways to make these. So I decided to use this way. However, it's probably one of the more complicated ways. There is an easier way to make it, but I'm going to give this one a try because I just like the fact that they actually use real chocolate as opposed to cocoa. But you can make them with cocoa. So I'm going to start off by melting my chocolate and my butter. So here I have 8 ounces of chocolate, and it's this President's Choice semi-sweet chocolate. I did weigh them. I got this weighing scales in Dollarama for $4 and it actually works great. So I have 8 ounces of chocolate and I have a 1/4 cup of butter. I don't mind, I kind of melted it a little bit because I was going to use a different recipe. But for this one I actually didn't need to soften it because I'm actually going to melt the chocolate and butter together. So long story short, 1/4 cup of butter, 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So I'm going to pour the chocolate chips into the butter. Now you could put these over hot water and melt them, but I'm going to put them in the microwave. And what I do when I microwave chocolate, because you have to be careful you don't burn it, is I lower the power level to 5. That way you eliminate the possibilities of burning it, and also the butter helps it not to burn. Never melt chocolate on high in a microwave. I put it on for 2 minutes, but I'm going to listen for it because you will hear the butter spattering when it has melted. So probably about 1.5 minutes I think should do it. So I took the chocolate out after 1.5 minutes and I'm just going to give it a stir. It's still not fully melted, so I am going to need to put it back in for that other 30 seconds. Okay, so now it's fully melted. We want this to cool down to room temperature because we are going to be adding it to our egg mixture. So I'm just going to put that aside and let it cool down. Okay, so the next step is we're going to add 2 eggs to the bowl for my mixer. To this we're going to add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. I don't have a half cup measure, but I'm just going to judge it by eye. So 1/2 cup of sugar. So I'm going to use the paddle attachment. If you're using a hand mixer, you can use the whisk attachments, that's fine. But for this one, because I'm going to be adding flour, I'm going to be using the paddle. Okay, so I'm going to attach the paddle, and then I'm going to whisk these eggs and sugar for probably 3 to 5 minutes until it's like really creamy consistency. You'll see here how it's getting creamier looking. It's losing its yellowness and it's thickening up, and that there now is the perfect consistency for the cookies. Okay guys, that didn't take even 3 minutes I would say, but if you can see it's very light and thick. So that's perfect. This is just ever so slightly warm, but this is my first time making them, but you know what, I'm just going to try it. So now I'm going to put my chocolate and my butter into my egg mixture. And I'm very slowly going to blend. Okay, once that's blended, we're now going to add our flour. So it requires 1.5 cups of flour. I'm going to gradually add the flour. Okay, so 1.5 cups of flour. Actually, I should have added my baking powder to my flour and I didn't, so let's hope this doesn't mess up the recipe. So it's just 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to stop it, and because I didn't add it to the flour, I'm just going to sprinkle it all over the top so that it gets blended in properly. And just a little bit of salt. You can probably see that the mixture is too soft to form into balls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mixture into the fridge for a while. Probably for an hour or two, so I can get it to a consistency that I can form it into balls. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that into the fridge for about an hour. Okay guys, I'm too impatient to wait. I think it should be okay. I didn't even wait a full hour. What you need to do is, depending on how runny your consistency is, you may need to leave it in longer even than an hour. So, but I'm just, I've taken it out now, and hopefully it's going to be good. So I'm going to take about half a tablespoon, and I'm going to roll it into a ball. By the way, I heated my oven to 100, it's actually 167 degrees, which is the equivalent of 180 on a regular oven. Actually, let me put this here. So I rolled my dough into a ball, and now I'm going to coat it in icing sugar. And I lined 2 baking trays with parchment. So I'm going to try and get these as even in size as possible. So again, rolling them into a ball, coating them in icing sugar, pop them on the tray. This is actually fine for rolling. If yours is too soft, just put it back in the fridge. My daughter's here with me today, but she won't let me put her on camera. She is 5 months pregnant. We're very excited. It's our first grandchild. So she's here with me today, and I know, like me, we're dying to have a cup of tea and taste these cookies. To give you an idea of the consistency, it's like a very soft, almost like a yeast dough. If I were to squeeze these with my fingers, they would go out of shape. So you want to handle them very gently, roll them in the icing sugar and lay them gently on the baking tray. Now it turns out I'm only going to need 1 baking tray for this, so I can put the other baking tray away. I guess it depends on how large you make them, but 1 baking tray was sufficient for these. Okay, so guys, I had a little idea. I'm going to actually stick 1 little chocolate chip on the top of each cookie. So I decided just to try this on 8 of the cookies to see how it turns out. Okay, so I decided to bake them at 160 degrees because this is a convection oven, and I actually baked them for about 9 minutes. Okay guys, so here they are. Don't they look delicious? So these are chocolate crinkle cookies. I cooked them for about 9 minutes. Now I'm going to put them on a wire tray to cool. And I have a pot of tea made, and Ali and I are going to sample them in a moment. Okay guys, we have a winner. These are absolutely delicious. This is what I'm definitely going to make for my cookie exchange. So I'm just going to bite into one, and then I'm going to show you what the inside is like. So this is one of the ones, I'm sorry. So this is one of the ones with the chocolate chip. Well, still warm. It is absolutely delightful. So this is warm. I'm hoping they'll be just as good when they're cold. But that's if they last. Gorgeous. Definitely try making these, guys. They're so light, yet a very full chocolate taste. Okay guys, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, I'd really appreciate it. I'm actually at 992 subscribers at the moment, which is so exciting. So I'm getting so close to that 1,000. So guys, thanks for joining me. Any questions, ask below, and definitely make these. They're delicious.